this is 20.4. I'll be talking about my own talent identification program. Okay, so firstly, my aim is to develop elite athletes and make sure they reach their full potential in lifestyle and on the pitch. So for example, I will coach on developing the player's technique and also setting them a diet plan in order for them to maintain a healthy and balanced lifestyle. Okay, and the purpose? The age starts at 10 and finishes at 21 years of age, so in the long run the purpose of developing my programme is to help out the England national team, because the England team is something that needs focusing on, because essentially they aren't doing good enough for the reputation that we have as a country when it comes to football. And in terms of format, extra school time, for example, the last extra school hour is to work on technique, also to stay an extra 30 minutes after training to also work on technique, and it's little things like receiving the ball in various situations. And also another technique, I want to coach my players to constantly check their shoulders left and right when receiving the ball, and simply to maintain possession of the ball. Players that are playing really well and is taking the techniques I'm coaching into their game, I will pass them through to the football academies. These will be the players that are excelling and showing clear potential through my programme. Next, we'll talk about test batteries. The players that have a weakness in speed, for example, I will work with them for 1 hour a week doing parachute runs and other various speed training. Also, I can have a one-on-one conversation with the players to see how they are finding things and find out where they are mentally, to make sure they are obviously balanced mentally as well as physically. Okay, and then in terms of interpreting test results, I will improve the athlete's weaknesses by putting them through strength and conditioning tests. So this is then going to make them even better even if they only improve strength or speed. And then next I'll talk about the phases of the programme. Okay, so firstly, developing practice, 10 to 14 years. The main objective is the overall development of the athlete's physical capacities, focusing on aerobic conditioning and fundamental movement skills. Secondly, understanding competition, and that's 14 to 16 years. The main objective should be to optimise fitness preparation, sport, event, specific skills and performance, and for the players to understand that winning is really important and understanding they have to battle for positions in the starting 11. And then next we will talk about training for competition, that's 16 to 18 years. The main objective should be to maximise fitness preparation and sport or event specific skills as well as performance. The players will start to work hard ready for the big competition and training hard to fight for the rightful position. And then it's developing winning, that's 18 to 20 years. This is the stage for players training to win, for example. Training for a cup final, the players will train in a certain way to prepare to beat their opponents. This will be usually after analysing some of their opponents' techniques and the way they play, so they can break them down easier when they have to compete. Next, we've got training to win, and that's 20 years onwards. Every training session you're working on, you'll be working hard for the team and playing to win, so it's no longer just about you and your own ability. You're training to win for your team. And lastly, goal setting. The goal for my programme is to get my players pro contracts in the bigger goal, and the bigger goal is for them to play for England and have a positive impact for England. We know this is really hard to achieve, but we obviously start with 10-year-olds, and it's going to be a lot of hard work and dedication from the kids and parents. And with all this hard work and dedication, they should be able to grow and develop into strong players who can finally achieve this goal that we've set. And then the resources, I need to pay for coaches and all equipment all the basic equipment, and obviously the special needs as well. So for example, I need footballs, cones and goals and other special equipment like GP sports vests to monitor heart rate and other things like speed. My players will only be playing on 3G facilities because it's the best surface and it's quick, which is important to developing technical skills. I will look to withdraw money from the FA, which is the national governing body of football. Because I'm giving my players a diet plan, it's down to the parents, and they are buying the correct foods that's on the diet plan. So I will also apply food like fruit, mainly because bananas mainly bananas because they are good for potassium and energy drinks on matching day and training. Next up, we've got timescales. Players stay with us for 11 years, and if they are yet to receive a pro contract at the age of 21, we will drop them to a semi-pro team. As a program, we hope this won't happen, but it's still a good backup if it does happen. My players will train three times a week, 2 hours a session, working strictly on technique. But every now and then we will go to the gym and work on strength and conditioning to build them up physically, to make them stronger, so they can compete at a higher standard, both mentally, physically, and technically. And then we've got consideration. I'm going to consider that 10-year-olds want to have fun, but I'll do technical fun drills. That way they're still learning and having fun, which means they can still develop at quite a high standard for their age, at the same time as enjoying what they're doing. And at the age of 10, it's important that we want to train and play, so it's important that the drills I choose they enjoy, so they start to build passion and excitement to train and play games. Okay, next we've got developing practice. Developing practice is the start of the program, and we're on aerobic conditioning to get their fitness good and developed at a nice early age. Also, we start with fundamental movements, which is effective because they're having whilst learning some important but basic movements that you will use in football matches. And then understanding competition at this age, they will be as fit as possible for football, because we would have worked on doing this also, but we'll make sure they need to constantly work hard to fight for positions in the starting 11, and they need to understand that at the youth age, especially your teammates that play in your position are your competition, and you need to do better than them to start, so you need to understand competition. Okay, and training competition is similar to understanding competition, just that it's getting more competitive because the players are getting older, but also the fitness levels are still at maximum. Keeping maximum fitness is really important, because if they want to compete and perform well at the highest level, fitness is more important because it plays a big role in dominating the position you play in. Developing winning. This is important because you need to prepare right for winning games, so this involves a lot of things, like watching video footage of your opponents eating the right foods and training appropriately for the next game. For us, it's always technical, because attractive football is important for me as a coach, and when you see England players use attractive football in their game, I feel it is really important for the English development. Training to win is the final stage. When you are now 20 years of age, we are coaching you to work hard as a team, and in training we are focusing on winning as a team by putting all of your good technicality and develop football skills together and understanding other players. We do this at a later stage because we focus purely on individuals and working on their individual performance. But we will drill it into our players that passing football on the deck is the best style. So this automatically means they will be good team players, and they will automatically want to work as a team and part of the team. If any of my players had a medical condition like asthma, I would make sure I bring an inhaler in the medical bag, and also make sure that the parents bring one for their kid. So if he was ever to have an asthma attack, then there is 2 inhalers to use, just as a backup. And also on the strength and conditioning training, we may reduce the intensity for people with asthma to make sure they don't have an asthma attack, and we are not putting their health at risk or overdoing them in any way possible. But if they do feel comfortable with progressing to a higher intensity, then we will progress it, because it's important that they are not far behind the other players or treated any differently in any way. The strength of my plan is that my players will be really advanced technically, and I feel England lack this compared to countries like Spain, Brazil, Germany, and now Belgium, a good technical side also. So I think my plan has the strength to get England to be a good technical passing team. Weaknesses of my session is that I didn't work on physicality enough. So instead of doing 2 hours a week, I could maybe do 3 or 4 hours a week, and this way my players will be stronger on the ball and in other various physical attributes like jumping for headers.